Okay, so this is my first time doing an official live stream for 30 days. Okay, I'm committing to 30 days. It's really interesting because some things have radically changed in my life, which has opened up so much space. And so I'm going to talk about who I am, what I do, and how this has actually resulted in the space that I've created. I'm just going to grab my laptop right down here real quick and set it on my lap. So as questions come in, I can check and answer them so I don't miss anybody, which I think is incredibly important. If you have questions, by all means, drop them in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, do all of the things, right? Because the number one thing about Facebook is engagement, right? I'm not a business coach, but if you want to see my videos, if you want to be notified when I go live, please, by all means, engage, because the Facebook algorithm will notice you like whatever it is that I'm doing. In return, they will show you more of my posts, more of my videos. If you have friends that this stuff resonates with, go ahead and tag them in it as well, or share the video with them. I would be super humbled and honored if you did that as well. But again, it's your own free will and choice. So let's get started. Let me open this up. Okay, cool. All right, here we are. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Isla Grace. I am a relationship coach and yoga teacher. I primarily work with women. I do on occasion work with men. So if you are a guy, because I do have a lot of men in my community, please don't feel like I'm not here to serve you, or the work that I give women is only for women. They're just my primary audience. And so thank you for being vulnerable enough. Hey, Ash. Thank you for being vulnerable enough, men, to be able to be willing to do this work, because it's not easy, right? You have to deal with your emotions. So I am originally from a tiny beach town in New Jersey. I've lived all over the United States. I spent a year traveling abroad. I've worked in the music industry for 10 years as a tour manager. I am also a survivor of sexual assault and countless acts of sexual harassment. I am also a retired sex worker and stripper. And the one thing that I learned was that women, myself included at the time, really needed to find a way to be empowered. And I was always looking and always placing my value and my worth in who wanted to date me, who liked me, was I good enough, am I cool enough, am I pretty enough, am I thin enough? And so I had all of these things that I had to grow through, all of these things that I had to learn. And being alone was like one of the hardest things for me because of everything that society tells you. And so one of my biggest hurdles was really reevaluating how I judged my self-worth. Because I was also a ballerina for 12 years. I did gymnastics. I did so many things that could always potentially cause so much damage to one person if they're not strong in who they are. And so what I realized between all of the stuff that I've done in my lifetime so far is that there had to be a better way, that I should be able to love myself, and that I was worth more. And so what came about was a couple years ago, I was in a car accident. I realized I couldn't tour anymore as a tour manager. The stress, the mental resilience I needed that I didn't have because of the car accident, I decided to, I was meditating in a hotel room in Canada, and I just got this hit, and it sounded like there was somebody in the room, and it was like, buy a plane ticket to Bali. Which, you hear people talk about Bali so often, and I was like, where is this coming from? And so I was called to the island. I bought a round trip plane ticket, and it was the journey that ensued within that year. Not only did I build this beautiful business of working with women and really getting grounded in why I find yoga and meditation to be so important, and being a coach to be so incredibly important, was that I had to deal with things that I literally could not get away from. And so I always have to learn the hard way. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to learn things the hard way. And so I have to learn through experience. We are in the Aquarian age. I do practice Kundalini yoga, and the Aquarian age is about the age of experience. And so that's how I learn. Some days it's prettier and easier than others, but the reality of it is I have to own and honor every single choice that I made that got me to there. And then I had to deal with and make the best of so many challenges and situations that really, I feel like, gave me so much depth and understanding and so many opportunities to surrender. And one of the biggest ones, when I got to Bali about a week in, my debit card had to get closed. No access to US funds at that point. And so I had to rely on some friends within the recovery community, because I have now 7 years in recovery. You know, I had to rely on that community of expats to kind of juggle and send money via PayPal for them to pull it out and get Indonesian money to pay rent and feed myself and, you know, rent the scooter. I was not in a place where it was easy, and I was not in a place where I had this surplus of money coming in. You know, we see so many coaches. This is my big gripe about the coaching industry. There's such a lack of honesty because you're only seeing the highlight reel. A lot of people don't talk about the struggle, or they talk about the struggle once they're through it. So for the sake of transparency, the reality of it is that, you know, during that time, and my entire time as a coach has been a constant learning experience around how to have a healthy relationship, not only with myself, not only with friends and family, but with my money. And I'm not a money coach, I'm a relationship coach. But for women, romance and finance kind of go hand in hand. And so if one area struggles more than the other, you get to look at, okay, well, why is this so easy and why is this such a challenge? Or maybe you think they're the same, but they're not. Or maybe you think one is better, but it's just as unhealthy or just as messed up as the other. And so what I end up doing when I work with people is we do talk about money. We do talk about romantic relationships. We do talk about dating if my clients are single. We do talk about the idea of believing in yourself. And so I feel like even for me as a relationship coach, it's ultimately the relationship with self is what I work with. And many people don't know what I do. And many people are like, oh, well, can you teach me how to date, or can you teach me how to do this? And it's like, yeah, I absolutely can help you. But here's the thing. If you don't deeply and completely accept and love yourself and deeply and completely believe in yourself, which is like one of the hardest things to get what you want, whether it's a relationship, children, marriage, a dream job, traveling, more money, whatever the thing is, if you deeply and completely believe in yourself, and it's such a simple concept, yet so hard for so many people, you can have a life beyond your wildest dreams. And one of the things that had to happen for me was I had put myself in a predicament in Los Angeles that wasn't the most ideal. Okay? And when push came to shove, the universe did its due diligence for me and kind of like booted me out of the situation through other people. And so I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My plan all along has been to come to Nashville. It's been to build a retreat center out here, 30 minutes outside of the city, eco and green and shipping containers and rainwater collection and a garden, like the whole thing. I want to employ women who are seeking refuge in battered women's shelters or who are in recovery who need work. And so my whole thing is I so deeply want to help people. And, you know, yes, this live is me talking about me, but through it all, the only reason why I talk about me is because if I share my experience, I want it to be an example for you that it's literally possible. I do so many unrealistic things, and that's how I learn. And I just believe I have this blind faith, and it's not easy. And the idea of deeply believing in myself, I've literally been working on that for 7 years. How to deeply believe in myself as a coach, as a sober woman, as being, worthy of a relationship that I want to be in with a man that I desire, right? And I listen to all of these people who talk about relationships, and it's really, when you believe in yourself and you believe in the experience that you want to have, so much can change in all areas of your life, not just relationships, which is why I always go back to the relationship itself. That's why for me it's always important. That's why I wake up every day and decide that my devotion for myself is 100% going to dictate how I show up in my business, how I show up on dates, how I show up when I go out to lunch with friends, in the relationship and relay that I'm in with them, whether I choose to have a part-time job or not. Anybody, literally anybody. You have to decide, and our subconscious and our brain has been programmed to be realistic, to seek out things that don't necessarily serve our best interest. As far as I'm concerned, they don't serve our best interest. And so when you look at how can I have a life that I want, and it's like, oh well, let's just say, for example, I found a dream home like in the closer to the center of Nashville, and it's a $500,000 home. That's terrifying for me, right? I'm going to be completely transparent. That is terrifying for me, because that means I have to make a certain amount of money every year, and I want to take the whole bottom floor and turn it into a yoga space to do community yoga and potlucks and like these beautiful events for my community. Full moon, circles, and just really giving people a space to come and be spiritual, to grow, to learn, to heal, to literally do all the things. But I still have to believe that I am worthy of generating the money in my business through external streams of income to be able to make enough to put a down payment down on that house, or to get a certain car that I want. Like, I want the Tesla Model X, right? I want these nice things, and I don't think it's bad to have these nice things. I think that they support me. But believing deeply and completely and look, and then when you deeply and completely believe, all of the stuff, all of the fear, the lack, the insecurity, money's evil, money's this, money's that, I can't have this, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not a supermodel, whatever you think you need to be to have the thing that you want to have, if it's not authentically you being you and evolving as a human being, then that expectation is fake. It's an illusion. It's something somebody put on you and projected onto you to have. And so the way that I work with people is we get on the phone, we talk about what's going on, I give them and show them a projected path and how to stay on it for the week. And so as I guide women and as I guide people through this, it really helps create lasting change, right? Because you have to be consistent, which comes back to why I'm doing the 30 days of live. By moving from LA to Nashville, a whole kind of vortex has opened up for me. I've gotten an idea for a course, I've gotten a new client. I might have 2 new clients, I've only been here since Saturday. And the reality of it is I needed to create space for myself to be able to cultivate and call in those things. And so when you really think about it, where are you holding yourself back? Where are you limiting yourself? Where are you keeping yourself in the box and stuck, right? That's why I do unrealistic things, because it shakes up and moves so much that the universe has to respond. The universe has to give something, because I'm like, okay, this didn't work. This was the plan. I'm going back to the plan that I committed to months ago. Let's do this. And so it's really put me in a place where I get to show up even on a deeper level. My yoga practice has become far more consistent and holy, if you will, or more whole, in terms of wanting to wake up and wanting to meditate and wanting to enjoy my coffee and listen to other people's live streams or podcasts or whatever's going on. Moving has shifted me into a space of wanting to do more, wanting to serve more. And so for me, the profound thing about working with people is watching them grow. It's like, to me, and I noticed this when I started teaching yoga back in 2012, it's the idea that when people start to rediscover themselves, whether it's in the physical body and movement, or spiritual, or, you know, mental, psychological. You know, it's like different degrees of learning how to walk. Have you ever had that experience where it feels like you're learning how to walk, or you have an aha moment of, oh my God, this is such a beautiful opportunity? It just feels so good. And so that's, you know, I've gone through all this stuff. I've learned how to just put one foot in front of the other. I've learned how to ask myself questions so I can grow. I've learned how to show up even when I'm exhausted, I don't want to wake up, I don't want to get out of bed, you know, and I have tools in place that when I'm not feeling good, I turn around to a friend and they're like, hey, did you do these things yet? And I'm like, no. They're like, okay, go do them. And I go do the things that I need to do to take care of me, right? And that's the only way I can show up and serve. That's the only way I can be the best version of myself today. And I'll know tomorrow I can do better tomorrow. I can be more tomorrow. I can evolve tomorrow. I can even evolve today at any point in time. I just have to decide and believe that I'm on that path. I have to believe deeply and completely that that's the path that I'm on. So I hope you found this as fun as I did. I feel like that's it. Every time I go on these rants and tangents and riffs, whatever you want to call them, it's like, okay, done. So I'm glad that you've joined me for the first official day of my 30 days of Facebook Live. I will be here at 9 a.m.-ish every single day. If you have a question you would like me to answer, if you are seeking a solution for something, please go ahead, DM me. I am happy to answer it on a live. I'm happy to have you come on and, you know, do a whole thing. If you are a coach or you are somebody who is an expert in your field, I would love to have you on my live so we can kind of go back and forth and have a conversation more about how we can integrate it either into my life, or if you need support integrating something into your life and your business, and we can talk about why you're an expert in whatever it is that you do. 30 days, and we'll do some guided meditations as well. I have a women's group called Radiant Queen. I will drop the link in the comments. Please, if you are a woman and you want a women's community, please join us. It's absolutely free. After the 30 days of live, I will be going live in there for 30 days, and I will do weekly lives on this page. And, you know, I'm also going to be launching a course at the end, I think towards the end of the 30 days or somewhere in there, which I'm still in the process of developing, but I'm super excited about it. So I love you all. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon.